When it comes to 2023, there couldn't be a single year that has that many bad songs as this year does. Hell, this is the longest worst songs video I've ever had to do, because you do understand that I have 46 entries, right? And these songs can be bad for a variety of different reasons. They could have caused controversy. They are hard to listen to. They contain terrible singing. They interpolate an old song you may have forgotten about. They might have terrible lyrics, or they might be boring. Those are most of the qualifications that make up a worst song list. And today we're taking a look at the worst songs of 2023. Enjoy. You've probably heard the phrase "express yourself" used before. If not, then it basically means that you can say anything you want and it would be considered as empowering. Expressing yourself can also be you expressing vulgar things. The reason for the vulgarity is that the reason for the sentence itself being vulgar is to serve a purpose. But if you're just being vulgar without it having any purpose, then congratulations. You just made the equivalent of the Sam Smith and Madonna song named Vulgar.
Vulgar. Vulgar.
I was not expecting this collaboration at all, but considering that Madonna is old and washed up and that Sam Smith's singles as of lately haven't been great, I already knew what I was getting myself into. And right off the bat, the sound they picked for this song is terrible. It sounds like Sam and Madonna aren't even trying. Not to mention that they're just saying vulgar shit to be edgy and not because the vulgarity has a purpose. The reason for this song even being made in the first place is because Piers Morgan called Sam Smith's dancing at the Grammys vulgar and said that Madonna did the same exact thing 40 years ago. So they showed off how vulgar and explicit they can get on a song, talking about being raw in nature and feeling yourself. But if I'm to be completely honest, this doesn't make for a good song at all. The lyrics are very cringe and the sound is off-putting. Overall, if I wanted to hear a woman being vulgar in the correct way, then I would listen to Megan Thee Stallion. Next. It's been a while since I talked about Smiley last on this channel. It's been 2 years to be exact. But here I am talking about him again, cause goddammit he's back at it again.
Fall in love, I'm doing the dash. This shit's so strong, I'm wearing a mask. Been drinking too much, I hope.
Last time I mentioned how he sounded zesty, which Drake mostly sounds like nowadays. I mean, for crying out loud, the nigga painted his nails. But this time around he sounds bored. Not to mention that his voice sounds drier than a Slim Jim. Or a Raisin. Or drier than new music releases have been for the past few weeks. Anyways, the point is this. From the last time I reviewed Smiley, he hasn't gotten any better and has in fact gotten worse. The beat as well sounds like a lullaby that'll put me to sleep. Matter of fact, I don't even know why Drake signed this man. Was it in bad taste? Sure. He doesn't always make the best decisions. He's bad at betting on sports, which we can obviously pick up from this clip.
Embarrassing!
And another thing he's bad at is dropping when he says he will. Come on. It's been 4 weeks and we still don't have the album. The fuck are you doing? Anyways, really bad song from Smiley. I give it a not good out of 10. Throughout his career, Lil Pump has had no shortage of terrible lyrics.
I'm the Colombian Tupac. I think I got gonorrhea, but I don't know why. I know how to count money, but I don't know my alphabet. Call me out me, cause my eye real low. She selling pussy on Amazon. Mama told me don't go to school on a Percocet. Like Juice WRLD, 70 pounds on a private jet.
So no wonder why this song has even worse lyrics this time around.
All these hoes wanna fuck me. I don't care, she ugly. I heard.
So basically this song is about attractive women, with Pump saying that if someone is selling M on Cash App, then he's gonna tap in. He also says how the women are attracted to him and that he eat it up like groceries. Oh boy. Where have we heard that before? Oh yeah. On Post to Be by Omarion. Here's a side-by-side comparison of how similar these two lyrics are.
I'ma eat it up like groceries.
But you gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Yeah. Those two lyrics are very similar to each other. So we already talked about how bad the lyrics are, but let's get into the sound of this song as well. This sounds like a bad dance rap fusion. Matter of fact, it kinda sounds like the song Like AG6. Another song I didn't really care for. Here's that comparison.
I'm booted up. Got a nitrous tank in the club. But for a show in
Like a G6, like a G6. Now I'm feeling.
And that's pretty much it when it comes to this song. Also a not good out of 10. So DDG's music as of recently has not been good. You obviously found that out by seeing what people have been saying about him. And they weren't saying positive things. Ever since I'm Jeekin came out they have been clowning his music like there was no tomorrow. And when he decided to drop an album that got even more clowned on. And not gonna lie, I used to like this man's music. But nowadays he just isn't fucking good. Here's a song I would pick from the album to be on this year's worst list.
Fuck that nigga, why he do you wrong? You was way too pretty to be here alone.
Now we all know that DDG's good with women. That doesn't make his lyrics good though. Like when he says that he takes no L's, which is cap because the biggest L he took was releasing this album in the first place. And when it dropped nobody was trying to listen to that shit. It was the same day when King Von's second posthumous album dropped. It was also the same day when Lil Tjay's comeback record dropped. So because they figured that the Von and TJ albums would be better they avoided this entirely. And I don't blame them. If you wanna know the real reason why people were trying to stay away as far as possible from this album, see track 6 named Riz. That song might be the worst thing he has ever created. Anyways, to summarize this quickly, this song is boring and not interesting in the slightest. You get more entertainment out of plotting someone's downfall than that. I'm dead ass serious.
Let's go golfing.
I refuse to believe that DJ Khaled is an actual person. He just says the goofiest shit when he has the opportunity to. Like you really must be an NPC in order for you to say let's go golfing or some shit like that. I mean come on. Only old people play golf. And you're 47 years old, right? So why the hell are you still making music? You're washed up and you always assumed that music that gets radio play is the best. And there we go again. Only NPCs listen to the radio. Streaming is for you to listen to what you actually wanna hear, not some bogus political country song. One of those blows up each month and people wonder why it does in the first place. And another thing as well. How can you call your ideas original if they are 100% stolen? Seems like you're still stealing samples because you might have ruined Michael Jackson's legacy with this.
This wrong, but overall, you know I'm still a real one. I'ma still be around when you get down here.
This is the lead single for DJ Khaled's new album Till Next Time. And I'm dreading the release of this album very much. The worst part is that the lead single for the album is complete and utter dog shit. For starters, DJ Khaled literally steals the sample for Pretty Young Thing by Michael Jackson and makes Lil Baby, Future and Lil Uzi Vert rap over it. He gave them all an idea and let them run with it, even though the idea might not be in their favor. And Lil Baby here sounds more bored than ever. He sounds like the equivalent of being made to do something you don't want to do. I would imagine that it was 4 in the morning and Khaled dragged his ass to the studio when he was still half asleep and he sounded like that when recording his verse. Uzi is the only one that sounds good here, but of course that's because he put more effort into his verse than the other two features did. It's like having a group project and letting one person carry the entire project. That must be how Lil Baby and Future felt after getting outshined by Uzi on a song they were both featured on. And not gonna lie, if Uzi did that to my song then I would let him keep it. At that point it's not even my song anymore. People will make versions of the song without me in it and just make Uzi only versions. So yeah, that's how it feels to get outshined by Uzi. Other than that though, this song is pretty fucking bad. Over the past few years a lot has happened to Lil Durk. He lost 2 people close to him. He had a falling out with Gunna and he was involved in beef with Youngboy. We would likely assume that the beef has ended, but we can't be too sure about it. When asked about Youngboy he talked about Morgan Wallen instead. Interesting. Anyways, now he's struggling to sell tickets because genuinely nobody's trying to see him. It's just like the Lil Baby situation where literally nobody was trying to see him. This probably is because his music is so goddamn mid nowadays. If you want an idea of how mid it has gotten, then take a look at the 6th song on the worst songs list named Before Fajr.
I ain't gonna even stunt, these niggas would rather die instead of living. I ain't gonna even stunt, these niggas would rather die.
The title is in reference to the fact that Durk is Muslim. Despite that though, it's the same shit you would expect Durk to usually talk about. And this is a rather lazy attempt at making a trap banger. Like from songs like Computer Murders and Petty 2, you would expect him to know how to do this now. But here it seems like he forgot how to make a good trap banger. Like the beat is good but Dirk's vocals do not work at all on this song. It sounds like he's phoning the shit in, which I don't blame him for doing. He was probably coming up on the album deadline, so he was just trying to get through this as quickly as possible. It did not create good results though. Back to the drawing board, I guess. Meet the two rappers that ruined lyrical rap. Their names are Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun. They were in last year's Worst Songs video and they are back again. This time they are causing more controversy with a song about them defending the land of the free. That's right. Time for another song about American propaganda bullshit.
I was raised to be brave to the grave, United States. We love the country that they've been corrupting.
On this song, Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun are glad to be raised in the United States. That might not be true for Tom MacDonald because he was actually born in Canada, but they don't want us to know that. Anyways, it wouldn't be a Tom MacDonald song entry if we didn't look at the controversial lyrics said in this song. The first controversial lyric is where Tom says that he won't take a knee for the anthem. The gesture itself is against racism, so was the intention of him saying this to prove how racist he is? Whatever. We don't like you either, nigga. Then there's a lyric about how he would never hit a lady, but it's so hard to tell nowadays. That is an awful attempt at addressing the LGBT community, and I think that's rather homophobic. Also in the chorus they said how they tried to silence you. Of course they were trying to silence you. You were spreading misinformation on the internet in which they were trying to stop you from doing. This chorus repeats a total of 4 times, so you hear this bar on 3 other occasions. Then on Adam's verse he proves how loyal he is for his country. So overall it's just Americanized garbage that they are putting in your face. After being in 2021's Worst Songs video, Dream is back once again with a genuinely terrible EP that not only shows how bad Dream's singing is but also his main issue with his songwriting. It feels kinda basic and feels like not enough efforts put into it. Kinda like the basic pop shit you would expect pop artists to drop nowadays. What makes it different this time around is that Dream put the mask on after being bullied for his face reveal back in 2022. And my friend Dragon God 87 made fun of his face reveal as well. So when we were listening to the Dream EP together, we put this song as our first pick for the worst songs off the EP and also for the worst songs of the year list. Here's Paranoid, track 3 on the EP.
Because I'm paranoid of things I can't avoid, just like me.
On this song, Dream's talking about an on and off friendship with this one person. Dream doesn't give us any insight as to who this person is though. What we do know though is that on this song Dream's singing is awful, especially the vocal effect in the intro, which makes it very hard to listen to. It's kinda like MGK singing. Oh, anything but MGK. This song also has a basic lyric structure and rhyme setup. Oh, I'm so paranoid and I need you to fill the void in my soul. You're a friend. You're not a friend. I don't know if you'll ever be my friend ever again. You see the issue now, do you? If you don't, then you're 5 years old. Please get off my channel and watch your Coco Melon instead. I don't need kids in my comment sections. I really don't. Anyways, moving on. The original Rich Men North of Richmond song by Oliver Anthony unfortunately had to be drawn into politics when clearly the song's about his financial struggles. What part of that screams politics to you? He's just saying that the government's the reason why he's struggling. And that is a valid reason for you to be financially struggling. He's got issues of his own that he needs to sort out, so let him do that. Meanwhile, Hi-Rez made his own version of the song and oh boy, he made this thing way worse than it needed to be.
But they keep on saying this economy is doing perfect. When I finally get ahead, Uncle.
On this version of the song, Hi-Rez brings more politics into it by attacking the economy. Oh boo-hoo. Go cry me a fucking river about it. He also says that they'll only show a white cop shooting a black man, but that ain't all they showing you. Just gotta spread misinformation on the internet for my millions of followers to blindly believe. The last lyric we're talking about here is where he says that politicians only care about you every 4 years. To be honest though, they never really cared about you guys. They just took into office because there's a job they needed to do. Caring about you is the last thing they have time to do. So basically there's a lot of bullshit thrown onto this version that almost makes it unlistenable. Congratulations Hi-Rez. You're becoming the most disliked artist of all time. Bet you feel so glad that nobody likes your fucking music. After years of not saying anything about his next album, Travis began the Utopia rollout, and with this people were literally losing their shit because he didn't drop in 5 years. Also Jack Boys does not count as a Travis Scott album, and people were thinking about what the lead single for this album would be. Maybe it's Lost Forever. We're quite familiar with that song already. Maybe it's Mafia, or maybe it's a song we haven't heard before. And I was also curious as for what lead single he was dropping. And when the lead single dropped I couldn't be more disappointed. Why this single?
Switch. Move that shit out here.
In the context of the album this song did not fit with its darker theme, and it worried me at first when I heard this. When the single came out it made me think that this album wasn't all it was hyped up to be. But good news. I actually liked it. I would have liked it better if this song in particular wasn't on here. This is by no means Travis Scott's worst song but it lacks what other songs in his discography have. Not to mention he isn't that present on his own song. And also that his vocals are lazily done. Here's my problem though. You need to stop putting Travis on these types of beats. It never works out for him. As for everyone else on the song Bad Bunny did an okay job and The Weeknd has a pretty bad verse going for him. It's an overall miss but it might appeal to some. Just not me. Chop Suey by System of a Down is a classic rock song that was released in 2001. The thing that makes it so great in the first place is Serge's performance on it. He automatically hooks you into the song with his shouting delivery and then goes into a calmer delivery when it comes to the chorus. Me personally I like that switch up and it shows how diverse Serge's vocal range is. Some people have been telling me that it sounds like Markiplier and Ethan singing. I don't hear it because I didn't watch Unus Annus when it was still around. I haven't watched Markiplier either. Let me know if I should. Anyway I know what you're thinking. Why the hell are you talking about Chop Suey on this year's worst songs list when clearly it was released 22 years ago? Well because Lil Uzi Vert thought it would be a good idea to cover this song on Pink Tape. And by seeing its placement on this list I bet you can already figure out how that went.
Wake up! Grab a razor, put a little makeup. Have the skulls and fade away the shake up.
You know how earlier I said what made the original Chop Suey great? Well none of that applies to Uzi's version. His is more whiny when it comes to the chorus. Not to mention his delivery doesn't work at all with the auto-tune. If anything it sounds terrible. And another thing as well. He doesn't even finish the song correctly. The original song ends with the bridge and chorus. This version ends with a simple wake up. That is not at all how the song ends. Overall this is the worst cover I've ever heard and I'm giving this one a not good out of 10 as well. Here's the whole timeline of events. George Not Found is a part of the Technoblade charity stream. He isn't taking the charity stream all too seriously. He's goofing off and hasn't donated any money. They called him out for interrupting Techno's father's speech. Headlines come out that George was being disrespectful. It's all directed back to Dream as he's accused of letting his friend do this. He drops a song. People start saying the same thing they said about George in the charity stream. The song gets hate and many people put it on their worst songs of the year list, including me.
I've been playing in my head, those things I never said, like.
Dream here puts himself in the position that Technoblade is at where if he dies then at least he'll be going to the same place he went to. So basically he's saying that he's Technoblade now. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. You're just using his name to get clout off his death. But isn't that what everyone else does nowadays? You so desperately need that attention. Do you? Well you're a big enough YouTuber already. You should be able to pull in views and streams without having to clout chase. But at this point in your career you gotta stop comparing yourself to Technoblade because you are not him. You're a fucking loser and your parents never fucking loved you. Wait, who? Your parents don't exist. You fatherless nigger. Go kill yourself. Next. In school you probably have seen some sort of cheerleader tryout and as a girl you probably did participate in the tryouts. Basically they prepare the cheerleaders so that they can cheer for a team at sport events like basketball and football. But what happens when cheerleading becomes demonic? Well, Ashnikko already created that disturbing reality that nobody asked for.
Hate me 'cause I'm beautiful, bitch, I don't like you either. Cheerleader, 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 tell me how.
Here Ashnikko uses cheerleading as an excuse to talk about how she isn't perfect and wanted by our society, so as an outcast she hates on those who tell her she's this and that and how she wasn't intended to be perfect in the first place. If anything, this sounds like those cheerleading songs except even worse and more annoying. Like nothing sounds good on this song. Maybe it's too sinister or that it automatically draws people out on first listen. Like nobody actually wants to listen to this if we're being honest. And even if they were willing to listen to it, then there's no situation where the song would even be appropriate to play. Even though I include political songs in my worst songs videos now, they usually didn't get too political. Unfortunately for this next song entry I have to bring in Donald Trump, 44th president. Took his mugshot on the 24th of August, which made this song from the 3rd of March age extremely poorly. So I'm sorry for what you're about to hear, but yes, this song entry is really that bad.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
For this song, the prison choir. Yes, a prison choir. See, I warned you that it would be this bad, did I not? Anyways, the prison choir sings the national anthem while Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump. Unfortunately he's involved in this as well. Anyways, Donald Trump recites the Pledge of Allegiance. And I refuse to believe that this song actually exists because this doesn't even sound real. I don't even know why the hell this was even made. Because there's a lot of delusional Trump supporters out there, maybe. That's the equivalent of saying you support war crimes basically. What we need in 2024 is a president who is not old, racist, homophobic or sexist, and he needs to be black. We don't see enough black presidents nowadays. We need more representation. And if that isn't good enough, then she needs to be a female. Yes, a female president. We haven't had any of those either. Either or is fine. As long as the president picked doesn't end up like either Trump or Biden. We need a clean slate cause I am tired of the same terrible presidents taking office. About time we started getting good ones, right? But knowing the election system, that would probably never happen. I swear next year I'm moving to Puerto Rico. I'm so done with the US. Many rappers have experimented with rock music. Some succeeded while others failed. But it is more likely for you to fail than is to succeed. The rappers that have tried to experiment with rock music but failed are Logic, G-Eazy, Machine Gun Kelly, Kid Cudi, Trippie Redd, Lil Wayne, and now Lil Pump. You're probably wondering why Pump's on the same list as Lil Wayne. Well, this song in particular is proof that Pump should have never experimented with rock music in the first place.
Pump rock shit, yeah. Slit my wrist, slit, fuck that bitch, drop.
The song starts off with Pump sounding whiny, which doesn't complement the track well at all. If anything, Pump does not have the vocal range required to make metal music. It's too light and not heavy enough. It needs to be more menacing. It needs to show people that you are feared as a rock music creator. This isn't showing any of that. Then when the song really sets in, it sounds like the South Park intro, but if it was made by a crackhead. In the original there were a set of lyrics that ultimately made this worse. They were directed at Juice WRLD, and in that compilation of Lil Pump saying bad lyrics, it was at the very end. You might have heard the lyrics I'm referring to earlier. If not, those lyrics were Mama told me don't go to school on a Percocet. Like Juice WRLD. 70 pounds on a private jet. Now why are these set of lyrics so bad in the first place? Well, for starters, Jared Higgins was addicted to drugs and mostly popped Percocets. The thing that makes this even worse though is that Juice WRLD died of an overdose at the airport. He died at the age of 21. In a way this could be seen as disrespectful, the same way Lancey Fowlkes' Lil Peep Bar or Young Thug's Lil Peep Bar was when they started making rounds in relevancy. So yeah, Pump was on that timing. That doesn't make sense though, cause he has an unreleased song with Ski Mask, who has several unreleased songs with Juice WRLD. I guess we're not supposed to think about that though. Doesn't stop me from thinking about it though. The second part sounds even worse than the intro. In the official release, that first part exists for only 56 seconds and then a new hell is opened up when the second part plays. When it comes to the second part of the song, let's talk about the elephant in the room. When it comes to that second part, the synth equalizers are annoying and make my fucking ears bleed. Kind of like the equivalent of a yellow jacket getting too close to my ear for comfort. And it makes me wish I was dead. Same here with these goddamn synths. And on the annoying synths he raps a bunch of terrible lines that don't even make sense. Not to mention an obviously terrible lyric which was also in the compilation of Lil Pump saying bad lyrics. If you don't know what that lyric was, then it was "She sell the pussy on Amazon." Well, if you do sell pussy on Amazon, then how much does it cost? Is it outlandishly priced at $59,000? How can you tell if the pussy is used? How can you tell if the pussy is Sundanese, Asian, Filipino, Spanish, Cuban, Argentinian, Somalian, Japanese, Chinese, Korean or Icelandic? There's no true way to tell. You can't play the ass assuming game, cause if you do you might be wrong. And also, why would someone tell pussy on Amazon? These outlandish questions get no answer, of course, and now we can't decide if Pump trying to recreate Saint Anger by Metallica is the worst part of the song or if it's the second half where those synths kick in. Both are genuinely terrible and they make this song a not good out of 10. Not even that surprising to see it this time around. A Love Letter to You 5 is by no means the worst album in the A Love Letter to You series. Sure, it might be the most disappointing album in the series, but there are far worse by comparison. I won't excuse this album in the series though for having one of the worst songs in the series that I have ever heard. And unfortunately I now have to subject y'all to that garbage as well. Sorry, it's my job. Helicopter is a Jamaican dancehall infused collaboration with Tommy Lee Sparta, and oh my god, his performance is terrible here. I don't even know what possessed him to make this song so bad, but what he did here needs to be punished. And even when Tommy Lee isn't giving his terrible performance on here, it still sucks with Trippie's low effort performance near the end, which ties the song all together and makes it a genuinely terrible song. I don't know who this Tommy Lee Sparta guy is, but never make songs with him ever again. The last Durk song we talked about was genuinely terrible. This though, it's just an okay song.
15 million cash, that's my advance. Fuck a eye bitch to get in her head. Think I love, I'm trying to plot on her.
B12 pays homage to Yeat with the instrumental having Yeat's favorite instruments on it, those being bells. He also mentions Yeat in a lyric when he talks about someone staying with the mask. Despite that though, this song is very boring to me. He's rapping about the same shit he usually does and I got bored with Durk's delivery instantly. It made me not pay attention to the rest of the song. Yeah, if you didn't know it by now, then I have mixed feelings on Almost Healed. And most of the songs are either boring or bad. Like this one, which manages to be boring. And this is what most of the album is. It's a big letdown, but at the same time I was kinda expecting the Durk album to sound like this. Not innovating much except for the lead single sounding different. Despite that though, it's very easy to get one song confused with another song on this album because they are not different enough to be recognizable. And this song just blends right in with that. But don't worry, Durk's name won't come up for a while after this entry. Lil Wayne has been rapping since the late 90s to 2000s. That's a pretty long time. So when did he start rapping? When he was 17. He was 26 when The Carter 3 came out and he was 27 when Rebirth came out. He was 31 years old when I Am Not a Human Being 2 came out and he was 38 years old when Funeral came out. So basically he's been rapping for 24 years. He's 40 years old now. And while I am glad that he's still around, that doesn't mean that every song he drops nowadays is good. Yesterday he dropped this one song that stood out from the rest. And it was so bad that I just had to put it in the video.
She anxious, she obsessive over them fragments. Undress her and then I spank her. Got devils posing as angels.
So the first thing you might notice about this song is the god-awful beat that accompanies it. I don't know who thought it was a bright idea to give him this beat, but it automatically makes the song terrible. There's also some terrible lyrics here and then where he compares sex to cat food. Can we stop fucking doing this? We shouldn't have to keep comparing sex to food because it's a disgusting comparison. There's other bad bars besides that one. I eat her like a shark and I still ain't learned how to swim yet. First comparing sex to food and now comparing it to animals. Like the fuck are we doing? I know you can put out better lyrics than this, bro. You have it in you, but you decided not to do that. And then he tries comparing it to chords used to charge your electronics. I swear this man will compare sex to anything. But stop it, bro. You're doing too much. Anyways, Wayne rarely misses, but on this rare instance one of his songs gets a not good out of 10. You might be familiar with the Gorillaz. If you aren't, then what rock have you been living under? Anyways, they are a virtual band led by Damon Albarn, who used to be a member of the band Blur. And recently the group has released an album called Cracker Island. This album is not good. It's kinda forgettable, to be honest. I did wanna talk about one song in particular when it comes to this album, and it features Bad Bunny. If you wanted my opinion on the best Latin artist around, then the last person I would say is Bad Bunny. Don't get me wrong. He has some pretty good songs here and there, but he's pretty inconsistent as an artist. For example, I wasn't that big of a fan when it came to his most recent album named Un Verano Sin Ti. On that album the sound was pretty inconsistent. Not to mention that it's an hour and a half long of filler tracks. And nobody wants to sit through that. Let's be honest. When it comes to Latin artists, J Balvin is way more consistent when it comes to his projects. But anyways, this song's pretty boring, and that's because of Bad Bunny. He doesn't really add much to the song. Plus the collaboration in the first place doesn't make sense. Maybe because of the Spanish collaboration on their debut album. Yet again, their debut album was okay. Not my favorite. But don't let this one album fool you into thinking that they are an inconsistent band. They made classics. Doesn't mean they still can't make good songs. It's just that their albums as of recently haven't left a lasting impact. Their songs can still be great sometimes though. Next. In today's modern world, NPCs are common. And how do you spot said NPCs? Simple. Ask someone their favorite artist. If they say either Tyga, Black Bear or Jack Harlow, then they are an NPC. Speaking of Tyga,
let me see that pussy splash, smoking on that pussy pad, get you in your porno bag.
When it comes to Tyga, he always makes those songs about the bad bitches. It's his go-to style of rapping. And these songs usually end up being club bangers because he mostly makes music for the club. And don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing, but there's no place else where you could bump this shit. And this is one of those bad sounding club bangers with YG on it. And you know that Tyga's pretty hit or miss for me. He's a pretty bad rapper though. And YG's inconsistent as well. His recent album fucking sucked, and much like the Gorillaz, he has also made classics. But YG doesn't care about that anymore because he's only in this for the money now. Seems like the both of them are. Overall a not good out of 10 because I can't believe that people actually go out of their way to listen to Tyga. There might be some pretty bad duos out there, but none of them come close to City Girls in my opinion. Now I know most of my viewers are male, just with the female viewers being 16.2% of my audience. So for that 16.2% who like City Girls, then I'm sorry, but you came to the wrong channel. Pretty sure nobody else likes them outside of the female audience, so here we go.
Housekeeping, I can still fucking up the sheets. Tip the ballet, y'all niggas so cheap. If you look up.
When it comes to the City Girls, they also make club music. They also have a large female demographic. As a male, I don't like their music at all. Young Miam is really annoying when it comes to her verses. I just don't like her voice. I first heard of them when Act Up came out, and yup, they are still trash. This song is a bad bitch flex anthem, which sure, females need to express themselves when it comes to rap music. But hearing that flex anthem come from a female rather than a male makes it all the more annoying. They are basically teasing in your face that they have expensive shit that you could never afford. What a way to make people doubt their life decisions. Anyways, this is pretty bad. Another not good out of 10. Just like how Tom Holland had to do an American accent for the Spider-Man movies, Iggy Azalea has to do a Southern accent when it comes to her music. Only difference is that he's from the United Kingdom and that Iggy's from Australia. And to be honest, nobody wants to hear her rapping in her natural voice, hence why she fakes an accent. Anyways, she's back with a new single and it's pretty bad.
Okay, so you wanna play rough and reloaded. Okay, either get up off my pit or deep throated. Yeah, ho.
Now when it comes to Iggy Azalea's music, I think it's pretty bad except for the song Team. That kinda goes hard, but that's the only song from her that I like. Everything else is trash. Yes. Even including this song, which is a brag rap song over mainstream production which sounds like it could be a hit but it isn't. Verses aren't anything too special. I mean, you've been in the game for 10 years. Either get a new producer or just quit rapping. Actually yeah, we would prefer it if you quit and never came back, cause nobody asked for this. Nobody was excited for your musical release. Matter of fact, nobody was really talking about it. I really hope she doesn't make a comeback because I rate this song a not good out of 10, and I might do the same for the album if she decides to release one. But hopefully not, because she has bad enough music as it already is. Man, it's times like these that I wish Lauryn Hill would make a comeback. Cause let's think about this. There are very few female rappers in modern rap nowadays that are good lyricists. Only modern rap artist I can think of that has good lyrics is Manalia. But that's pretty much it. And you already know who the worst lyricists are when it comes to female rappers.
I ride his wood like Bush or bitch wood. I rock Coach, fuck designer bags, natural.
So this song's about the two boasting their confidence, and that's fine and all, but these lyrics are not good at all. The two of them just talk about their pussies, breasts, expensive cars and jewelry, and they're like, look at what I have. I bet you don't have this. This is the same type of flexing we talked about earlier when it came to the City Girls song that really makes people doubt their life decisions. No wonder you're a contributing factor to social media users being depressed, because in comparison their life is so much better than yours, and it makes you look at your life and doubt everything about it. And it really does hurt. Especially when the person listening is poor. Also a not good out of 10. Might be contender for worst collaboration of the year.